Today, we're gonna talk New York real estate and show you two apartments, including one whose price has dropped $2,000 in the last month. We'll be joined by New York City's rental expert and fellow YouTuber Cash Jordan and find out if the Big Apple has suddenly become affordable. Watch till the end. This is a good one. All right, guys, so I have been watching the New York City rental prices drop and drop, but now we're gonna bring somebody in who's facing this every single day, and we're gonna learn more about the situation in the city.
Rents have definitely been going down, that is for sure. Actually, things are getting pretty close to where they were in 2010, and that was almost 10 years ago. And you can get some unheard of deals on the market right now, but the real question is, should you move to New York in spite of this fire sale that's going on? And that's what we're gonna find out today.
All right, so we're gonna be seeing two different apartments. Cash, we're starting in the East Village.
That's right, right here by First and First.
First and First, let's do this.
I'm gonna hold the door for you.
All right. All right, so I was not expecting an elevator at all in this building.
It's a really quiet elevator, actually.
I feel like we're in like the 1930s or something.
The building's older than that, so.
All right. For this price, not bad at all.
Definitely not bad. We were previously getting a lot more. Right now, this one bedroom is $22.75 per month. But just a couple months ago, we were renting these for $3,000, and that was right before the whole pandemic thing started, and it's pretty crazy.
So Cash, you know, I know people in real estate, and they're always telling me how summer is the hottest, literally figuratively, time of year to get an apartment, and I'm guessing this summer's been a heck of a lot different.
So this has been the slowest summer that I've ever experienced since 2008 when I started doing this. It is absolutely dead by comparison. Last summer, believe it or not, we were renting these while there was still furniture and while there was someone living here. But now this place is empty, and you know, we've shown it several times, and there's just not the demand.
Well, let's show people this apartment with some of the best features of what you would get at this much cheaper price.
So usually what makes a place like this popular, even though it's on the older side, is that it has a living area which is separate from where the kitchen is. There's a definite separation here, and this is gonna sound stupid to you if you don't live in New York, but having a wall over here and then another wall over here where you can put a couch and a television and kind of have an entertainment center set up is something that you don't get usually in this price range. Usually the kitchen is part of this room, but here it's separate, it's off to the side. And that's actually a really good feature of this apartment, and usually in past years, stuff like this always rented at a premium, especially with the elevator, with all the sunlight that we've got here. Yeah, pretty interesting times for sure.
And you know, it's interesting because the first thing I thought of when I saw this apartment was this little separated kitchen. Because if you guys have seen my apartment videos, you're always seeing how my kitchen and living room are basically together. And here you have that clear separation. And this is a heck of a lot cheaper than my apartment too. All right, Cash, as we enter the bedroom here, a question that I'm really curious of is, do you think rents are gonna go even lower than they are right now?
So that's a really interesting question. Rents were higher when the lockdown first started because inventory hadn't hit the market yet. So if you rented an apartment in April or in May, you actually paid a higher price than you would have paid in June. And if you rented in June, you would have paid a higher price than you'd pay right now. So it's tough to predict the future, but what I think is gonna happen is that the summer's gonna end and a ton of inventory that would have traditionally been snapped up is still gonna be available. And after Labor Day, we enter the off season in the New York City rental market when there's less moving activity than there normally is in the summer. And if it's already dead now, I think it might get even quieter than it is already.
This bedroom's really nice. It's interesting for me because my lease expires at the end of October, and I have this theory, I've been predicting all along, that after the summer, rents were gonna plummet even more. So for someone like me who may be looking to move apartments, this actually could be a really interesting period. Let's talk about this bedroom a bit. I would say this is a lot more spacious than your typical one bedroom in the East Village.
You know, it's definitely a good size. A lot of one bedrooms in the East Village have like a really tiny bedroom that will only fit like a twin size bed, maybe a full, but here you could get a queen and some other furniture, and that's nice. That's something that you don't find everywhere. But I'm curious, you said your lease was up in October?
End of October.
End of October. So what price does this have to be for you to take it in the end of October? How low does it have to go?
It's nothing personal, but I'm married, so the East Village doesn't appeal to me as much anymore. I think this is a good area for the young single person. We may be looking at Brooklyn. I'm gonna discuss this more in the future, but I think right now, space is the biggest premium for us and possibly a more relaxed location, which I don't think any of the villages would really be good for me. Maybe the West Village, but I still think that's gonna be a little too expensive for us. I have to admit, as somebody that has an apartment that looks at a brick wall, you know, having any kind of a view and having light coming in like this would be such a premium. Like I can't even imagine waking up with this much light in the morning.
It's an incredibly sunny apartment, that's for sure. And I don't know, come with me real quick. I don't know if you noticed this, but every window in this apartment gets really good sunlight. Those two windows that are in the living space get good light. We don't even have the lights on in this apartment, and it's incredibly bright. And like you said, so many New York City apartments, the window faces a brick wall, and it's like the most depressing thing ever.
Before we leave, I know you guys would kill me if I didn't show you what the bathroom looked like, so let's look at this. It's not bad, actually. I like the green tile here.
You know what I just realized? Look, it's like the same color. Now we know where Apple gets their color scheme.
And your shirt, too.
And my shirt, did it on purpose.
Members of the barrio, before we go to the next apartment, I wanted to make an announcement. I added some new stuff to the merchandise store, including 3 new mask designs, which I made myself. I think they're really cool. I also added a membership button down below as an alternative to Patreon. If you're looking to support the channel in a different way, click down below for details. Thanks. All right, Cash, we're on our way to apartment number 2, and as you can see all around me, the East Village, I see a lot of outdoor dining here. Now, I haven't spent a ton of time in this neighborhood since everything started. How have things changed around here?
Well, as you mentioned, outdoor dining is the new rule. Now, it's the morning at present, right? So they haven't set up the outdoor tables, but most of the restaurants in the area that were profitable before this have decided that they're gonna stay open and have been putting out the tables during the day. So if you're one of the people that is in New York City living here right now, you can go out and grab a bite to eat at your favorite restaurant, most likely.
You're the real estate guy from TikTok, right?
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Appreciate the support. You guys have a great day.
Keep doing it.
You're the real estate guy from TikTok.
Every day.
You're way more famous than me.
I don't know about that. The barrio has been around since the dawn of time.
We've walked over to Gramercy, a different neighborhood, and we're gonna show you a very big apartment that has had an absolutely incredible price drop.
We're actually gonna see a 3-bedroom apartment, and this place is really big. And it's almost like a grown-up version of the apartments that are in the East Village, which are smaller. And that's kind of funny because Gramercy's like the grown-up version of the East Village. So let's go take a look.
Steep stairs. I always love the steep stairs in any building. No elevator here, but I've been told this apartment more than makes up for it with its big size. All right, well, this is certainly one of the bigger apartments I have seen in a while. And you told me that this had a huge rent drop, right?
The rent for this apartment has dropped $2,000 a month. That is insane. And part of the reason for that is because this is a 3-bedroom apartment, and we're close to NYU. We're close to an area that's popular with young professionals and people who are moving here for the first time. And those groups aren't coming here to the same extent that they were a year ago. A lot of jobs are remote. A lot of college classes are gonna be remote, and people are hesitant to move to New York and start their life here when the city's in a lockdown state. I mean, there's nothing unreasonable about that. But since these apartments were popular with that type of client, and that type of client's not around, 3 and 4 bedrooms have actually been hit the hardest by this rental market.
So this went from $6,400 to $4,400 a month, and it's interesting you noted about the college students, because I've been looking in my neighborhood in Greenwich Village lately. I've also seen huge price drops on the 2 bedrooms right near NYU, and I had that exact thought. I'm like, the parents aren't paying for their kids to have these apartments, and it was a bit of a bubble, and now it's burst.
Pretty much. Bubble's the right word. That's exactly the word that I would use. It's probably not going to stay like that forever, but at least right now, that's reality.
So Catch, what do you think are the best perks of this huge apartment?
Well, typically, at least in the past when we've shown apartments in this building, there's only 5 apartments in the entire building. There's 1 per floor, and since these take up the entire floor, they're a lot larger than 3 bedrooms that you might find elsewhere where the units have already been subdivided. I mean, this is a very large living room, and the kitchen's nowhere to be found in this part of the room because it's all the way over here by itself. And typically in an apartment like this, you'll kind of have everything in one space, but there's a lot of separation here. And check this out, look at this. Look at the size of this bedroom. Like, this is your bedroom. I mean, you could fit any size bed you want in this room without any issues.
This is probably 50% the size of my apartment.
Yeah, there are apartments for rent right now which are exactly the same size as this bedroom, that's for sure, with less storage space.
And obviously this would appeal to a group of young people who want all this space, or maybe at this price a young family that wants some extra rooms. We're in one of the bedrooms now. This is actually really nice lighting. You've got the backyard here. I like this touch, all the ivies and the leaves growing through here. Got someone's deck.
It's very New York.
Yeah. This is actually an enormous closet too. Okay, so some of the bedrooms are bigger than the others. I guess the advantage here is that you have the quiet from the outside.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a room that doesn't, if you're looking for a New York City apartment, you should really pay attention to what direction the room faces. These rooms face the back of the building, and the view might not be as cool, but the noise levels are way lower in these rooms than they're gonna be in the rooms that face the street, just because that's where the street is, that's where the noise comes from.
Exactly. We have to admit, for an apartment of this size, I was hoping for a bigger bathroom than this. That's probably the only thing I'm really disappointed in the apartment here.
Well, the bathroom is not my favorite part, but it's functional, it works, everything's there. What's nice is, since this is a multi-person apartment, you're gonna be having people conceivably walking through this area. You know, if you're using this part of the kitchen and your roommate needs to get to the fridge, you're not gonna have a traffic jam in here like you would in a lot of places in this neighborhood, that's for sure.
Cash, we've discussed how low rents are getting in New York City right now. Who exactly do you think should take advantage of these cheap prices, or cheap at least by Manhattan standards?
You know, I'm a real estate agent, right? But my ultimate opinion on this is that the apartment supports whatever you're here in New York City to accomplish. So if you're somebody and you live here or you need to be here, you're gonna rent an apartment. I don't think people should just move to New York without a plan and just rent something, because you're gonna end up paying a lot of rent for something that at the end of the day is less than it would be in any other major city. But this is for somebody that needs to be here. And if you do need to be here, you're gonna get a great deal on your rent. I mean, you can start that new opportunity and have more money in your pocket at the end of the day if you're being paid regularly than you would have if rents were higher. I mean, if you had done this a year ago, your first year would have been a lot tougher than it would be this year, provided the income is there to support the rent.
Guys, now it's your turn. Leave a comment down below in the description telling me what your thought is on the state of New York City real estate. Would you consider moving here? And thank you so much to Cash Jordan. Subscribe to his channel, seriously. He does amazing apartment tours every week. Putting a link down below in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching, as always. Until next time.